Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudhirayet Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavatyuttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 9, Chapter 19. King Yayati achieves liberation. Text 13. Yat Prithvyam Vrihi Yavam Yat Prithvyam Vrihi Yavam Hiranyam Pashavaha Striyaha Hiranyam Pashavastriyaha Na Duhyanti Manapritim Na Duhyanti Manapritim Pumsaha Kamahatasya Te Pumsa Kamahatasya Te Yat Prithvyam Vrihiyam Yavam Yat Prithvyam Vrihiyavam Hiranyam Pashavastriyaha Na Duhyanti Manapritim Pumsa Kamahatasya Te Yat Prithvyam Vrihiyavam Hiranyam Pashavastriyaha Na Duhyanti Manapritim Pumsa Kamahatasya Te. Yat what? Prithvyam within this world. Vrihi food grains, rice. Yavam barley. Hiranyam gold. Pashavaha animals. Striyaha wives or other women. Na duhyanti do not give. Manapritim satisfaction of the mind. Pumsaha to a person. Kamahatasya because of being victimized by lusty desires. Te they. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Srila Bhaicharana Aravinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation. A person who is lusty cannot satisfy his mind, even if he has enough of everything in this world, including rice, barley, and other food grains, gold, animals, and women. Nothing can satisfy him. Can you repeat the translation? A person who's lusty cannot satisfy his mind, even if he has enough of everything in this world, including rice, barley, and other food grains, gold, animals, and woman. Nothing can satisfy him. Purport. Improvement of one's economic condition is the aim and object of a materialist, but there is no end to this material advancement. For if one cannot control his lusty desires, he will never be pleased, even if he gets all the material wealth of the world. Very cool. In this age, we see much material improvement, but still people are struggling to get more and more material opulence. Manashashtani indriyani prakriti sthani karshati. Although every living entity is a part of the Supreme Being, because of lusty desires, one continuously struggles for so-called betterment of one's economic condition. To have a satisfied mind, one must give up his heart disease of lusty desires. This can be done only when one is Krishna conscious. Bhaktim param bhagavati pratilabhya kamam hridroga asho apahinoti achirena dhiraha. Bhagavatam 10 chapter 10th canto chapter 33 text 39. If one becomes Krishna conscious, then he can give up this heart disease. Otherwise, this disease of lusty desires will continue, and one cannot have peace in his mind. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport and translation to Canto 9, Chapter 19, Text 13 of Srimad Bhagavatam. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadhi Paschati Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Pumsa Kamahatasya. So here, Yayati is telling Pumsaha, a person, Kamahatasya, who is who has become a victim of lusty desires. Kama, who has become a servant of lust. Na duhyanti mana pritim. Such a person, na duhyanti, he cannot satisfy his mind. Mana pritim, the satisfaction of the mind. Mana pritim, satisfaction of the mind. Na duhyanti is never attainable. So one who comes under the sway of lusty desires or sense gratification, such a person can actually not satisfy his material desires. And his mind will always be displeased, dissatisfied. One may think maybe he has to uh, arrange for more material things, create more arrangements for fulfilling his desire. So for that, Bhagavatam is saying, uh, Yat Prithvya, in this world, you can make all kinds of arrangements, provide all arrangements, what not. Therefore, the word yat is used. Yat means what not. You may provide all material arrangements, whatever is desirable, like vrihi, food grains, rice, yavam, barley, hiranyam, gold, pashavaha, animals, pet dogs, pet animals, striyaha, beautiful woman or objects of speculative enjoyment. All of this, and striyaha also means expansive idea. You may go on expanding your ideas for sense gratification. Newer and newer forms of sense gratification you may go on expanding. With this striyaha, this word is a beautiful word. Striya here it refers to wives or other women, and it can also mean all expansive ideas for enjoying this body, enjoying the mind, enjoying life in this world. Yet, whatever your mind can think of, hmm, but na dukhyanti mana prithim, such a person can never be satisfied. Nothing can satisfy him. And this is spoken by a person who's realized a great personality like Maharaja Yayati. Uh, It's not a poor man who is speaking this. It's not a person who has not seen the extent of the limits of sense gratification. This is spoken by a person who has seen the limits of sense gratification in his life. Maharaja Yayati, being the ruler of the entire globe, had at his command everything desirable. He is not a poor man, because poor man cannot purchase objects of sense gratification, cannot purchase things to enjoy in this world. Hmm? You require car, you require house, you require assets, properties, or even fine arrangements for food, clothing. So you require money for all of these things, even to arrange woman or to marry. Hmm? You require money for all of these things, and then you can satisfy your desires. So King Yayati had at his disposal all of these things and much more. And he enjoyed life with all of this paraphernalia described here for 1000 years. And still, after enjoying all material opulence unrestrictedly, he didn't have any health problems, any um, uh, mental disturbances. Nothing could stop him from his sense gratification or enjoying his senses. Freely he enjoyed his senses for 1000 years. Whatever he desired, good food, woman, everything, gold, command, power, position, everything he had. But he is saying, Pumsa kama hatasya, a person who has come under the influence of lusty desire, na duhyanti manapritim. He can never satisfy his mind by fulfilling these material desires. But in this material world, these things are very adorable, very desirable. Economic development, money is so much highly worshipable, especially in Kali Yuga. So much so that even Prahalad Maharaj, even in Satya Yuga, he has described about the kind of perception, appreciation which people have for money, for economic development. Prahlad Maharaj says, even as early as Satya Yuga, he says, money is so dear that one conceives of money as being sweeter than honey. So this statement is made millions of years back. Money is sweeter than honey. Hmm. Therefore, who can give up the desire to accumulate money? especially in household life. Actually, when you enter into household life or family life, then only you start tasting money. Otherwise, you really don't appreciate the value of money in its material terms. A brahmachari may have big money, but what is the use of brahmachari having money? He does not know how to enjoy and he cannot enjoy. His mindset is different. So there's no great advantage of a brahmachari possessing money because he does not know to enjoy and he does not enjoy. So therefore he does not have impetus to earn money. There's no impetus for a brahmachari to earn money because he does not have a family. The impetus to earn money, the impetus for improving economic condition comes once one gets into family life. That's why the word striyaha is used. It expands the scope of material enjoyment. Brahmachari is being trained to give up sense gratification, which is illusory and which will steal away uh, atma ananda, which will steal from the person his true joy of his atma. So he is alert. He is alerted by the guru. Of course, if such a brahmachari, if he later on becomes a grahastha, then he may still have some restraint in family life, even if he enters family life. But those who have not undergone brahmacharya training and straight have entered into grahastha life or family life, it's a very risky life they are leading. Yeah, Krishna Balaram Prabhupada ki jai. Because they're not trained how to be alert from these enemies of the soul's ananda. These things will take away the ananda of the soul because he is wandering in the enjoyment, in the field of enjoyment in terms of gold, animals, woman, rice, etc., etc. All material, which the soul has nothing to do with. Therefore, it is simply illusory, simply evasive. After all this enjoyment, see, the person is not satisfied. Who is not satisfied? Who is not satisfied? Actually, it is the soul who is not satisfied. But he does not understand that. He's thinking that maybe I have to work more. I have to get more paraphernalia. I have one car, I should have two cars, three cars. I have one house, I should have more houses. I have more houses, I should have sites in every other city. He goes on expand. I have maybe simply rice, sambar, and sabji. Therefore, I'm not happy, and I should have more items to eat. Or maybe I'm eating only at home. I have to eat in restaurants. Or maybe I'm only eating restaurants. I should eat in continental restaurants. Or maybe only in Mysore I'm eating. Actually, I should go to Bangalore. Actually, Mumbai is much better. Actually, Delhi is much better because the fine dine arrangements, the scope of material life is much different. And after he goes to Bombay and Delhi, then he thinks, oh, actually, Singapore is much better. America is much better. Australia much better. Have you gone? You're not gone. You're not experienced. So you don't have experience. You go and come at least once in your life, at least to get an experience. So like this, he goes, and then somebody who's in America or in Singapore or in Australia is thinking, oh, this is not great. I heard that there are some people who have more information. People have information about America, Singapore, they'll go there. There are people who have more further information. Oh, Devaloka is much more adorable, worshipable, desirable, because their life is even more enjoyable. And like that, this illusion keeps increasing and keeps chasing him all his life. So Prahlad Maharaj is saying uh, that money is sweeter than honey. Hmm? For a person in household life, he becomes too attached to money and economic development, and so much so that even though there is risk in earning money in economic development, he is willing to undertake all the risks if at all he has the hope or he has the promise for increasing money and economic development, if there's a possibility of increased economic development, even at the risk of his life, he will indulge in increasing money and economic development. So Prabhupada explains this is from the Bhagavatam 7th canto, 6th chapter, text 10 by Prahlad Maharaj. So the purport Prabhupada says that we see there are thieves, robbers. They steal money, but they know if they're caught, they'll be in big trouble. They may be put into jail, but money is so attractive, they'll not mind robbing, they'll not mind stealing, they'll not mind getting caught because the taste of money is superseding. Param drishtva nivartate. For them, this is higher taste. And not only thieves. Today we see, especially in Kali Yuga, right in front of us, even professional, there is professional robbery. Stealing, pickpocketing is all very crude systems. And today it is being more evolved, highly evolved. There's professional robbery going on. We don't even want to enter into this discussion. But then we know for sure that how much manipulation is going on in the world to earn money. Practically the entire world, with the exception of few, the entire world is geared up for this economic development and increment of money for the purpose of sense gratification. And how much risk it comes up in the papers, the fraud activity of the business, the fraudulent nature of the accounts, all these things come out, and finally his entire company is seized, his bank accounts are freezed. Finally, there are cases where people who owned 15,000 crore, 13,000 crore sold their company for 1 rupee. 1 rupee. All these things are happening. Happened already. Because money is sweeter than honey. They don't mind risking. And will he realize after that again he'll start working once again. So this is ignorance, foolishness. So everybody is risking life just to earn money and increase one's economic conditions. As though increasing one's economic conditions is the ultimate aim and object of one's life. Then what else should be the aim of one's life? Bhagavatam describes. In the first canto, second chapter, text number 9 and 10, this is very nicely discussed by Suta Goswami. It says, Dharmasya hi apavargyasya nartho arthayo nartha अर्थायोपकल्पते नार्थस्य धर्मैकान्तस्य कामो लाभाय हि स्मृतः कामस्य नेन्द्रिय प्रीतिर लाभो जीवेत यावता जीवस्य तत्व जिज्ञासा नातो यश्चेह कर्मभिः. So Sutta Goswami is saying, Dharmasya hi apavargyasya. Says first of all, work should come under the domain of dharma. Here people are working outside the domain of dharma, and therefore they are diverted from the actual purpose of working. And what is the purpose of working? They don't know. They think purpose of work is earn money, enjoy sense gratification, increase economy. That's all. This is the purpose of work. They are thinking. No, work should come under the domain of dharma, which will dictate how work should be done, for what purpose work should be done, why it should be done. So dharmasya hi apavargyasya. Therefore, overarching all these things is dharma. Dharma will hold all the things. But there is material dharma, there is spiritual dharma. In the aspect of material dharma, there is a provision for kama and artha. Therefore, if at all people are religious, it is for the purpose of two things, kama and artha. Dharma, artha, kama, moksha, as most people have heard. This is material dharma, the path of material dharma or pravritti marga. Dharma, artha, kama, moksha. So dharma, if at all people are religious, people are irreligious, they are godless. They think they can earn money anyhow and somehow, anyhow. They are called vikarmis. Vikarmis. They don't follow the path of dharma. They think we can earn money in so many ways, not necessarily through the path of dharma. But in contrast, there are people who follow dharma. They are called karmis, as opposed to vikarmis. But the idea of who is a karmi? Karmi is not an individual. Karmi is a person who professes, who believes this idea. What is that? If I'm religious, or his purpose of being religious, being pious, being devoted to God is only artha and kama, to get artha. But dharma will certainly fetch artha to him. If somebody is religious and pious, certainly he'll be materially opulent, materially rich. And objects of sense gratification will be provided to him, will be at his reach if he is pious man. He'll have a very comfortable material life. Therefore, sometimes we see karmis, they're very settled. Oh, Prabhuji, we're all very happy. We don't have any problems. So what is the need for chanting Hare Krishna? What is the need for coming to temple? So dharma may provide good material facilities. So he gets his money, and with that money, he is able to arrange for fulfilling his material desires. What is that material desire? I want a home, I want a good wife, I want nice clothes, nice food, like that. So all these things money can give. So therefore, he practices dharma. That is material dharma. But Bhagavatam's proposition is different from this material dharma of dharma, artha, kama, moksha. Bhagavatam is saying, dharma se hi apavargyasya. Dharma is meant for liberation. All occupational engagements, all work should lead to liberation. Otherwise, it will lead to bondage. So, dharma se hi apavargyasya. All occupational engagements are certainly meant for ultimate liberation from this cycle of birth and death. And further, Bhagavatam is saying, na arthayo upakalpate. Artha means money or economic development. Na artha. This artha, na arthayo upakalpate. It should not be used for dharma, should not be used for material gains, achieving material gains. So dharma is not meant for increasing your material conditions. See, people come to temple, they want some material improvement, either in their health, money, social status. But Bhagavatam is saying, no, na arthaya, na artho arthaya upakalpate. So dharma is meant for ultimate liberation. Dharma is not meant for accruing material wealth or material gains. Hmm? Nartasya dharma ekantasya. Then what should material gain be used for? Dharma eka antasya. What should be used for? One who is serious about attaining liberation, for him, uh, na artasya kamo labhaya hi smritaha. He should never use material gain for sense gratification. Especially if his interest is in going back to Godhead. So if one's interest is in going back to Godhead, never use material gain for fulfilling your material desire. Then what should be used for? That is described next verse. Kamasya na indriya preeti labho jiveta yavata. What should be used for? Life's desires or material gains should not be used towards sense gratification. Then for what? Jivasya tattva jignasa. Life's goal must be to realize the soul's nature, eternal nature. Jivasya tattva jignasa. Narto yascheha karma bihi. Nothing else should be the goal of one's work other than realizing the Supreme Lord and realizing the part and parcel, the soul, who is part and parcel of the Supreme Lord. So, Jivasya Tattva Jignasa means actually to realize God is the purpose of one's life. And all works should be directed towards achieving that end of realizing God. The one may say, but I have to live. I have my material body, material senses. I have to give them something. Yes. Therefore, what is the formula? Labho jiveta yavata. As much basic minimal requirements of the body should be given. That's all. It is called self-preservation. Just to preserve this body, you require to eat little food, have some clothing, you require some shelter, basic minimum arrangement. You cannot keep increasing it unlimitedly. Then the purpose of life will be lost, which is ultimate liberation from the cycle of birth and death. Prabhupada says, in contrast to that, in the modern world, the completely bewildered material civilization is wrongly directed towards fulfilling desires in sense gratification. In such a civilization, in all spheres of life, ultimate end is sense gratification. Bhagavatam saying is, but Bhagavatam is saying ultimate end is liberation. But our life is arranged in such a way that ultimately, whatever you do, sense gratification is the primary objective. This is the defect in modern civilization. So Prabhupada is saying in politics, in social service, altruism, philanthropy, ultimately even in religion and even in salvation, the predominant thing is sense gratification. See, in material dharma also there is liberation, dharma, artha, kama, moksha, but that liberation meaning is different. Here also Bhagavatam is beginning with saying, dharma se hi apavagyasya, dharma is meant for liberation. Then there in material dharma also liberation. Then what is the difference? The difference is that liberation is because of frustration. Because the person is frustrated in his attempt to enjoy, finally he desires, okay, let me give up everything. That giving up everything is because of frustration. But here Bhagavatam is telling us to embrace liberation not because of frustration. Voluntarily embrace liberation, not because of frustration. Vairagya is happily accepted by the Bhagavata school. Because we know the value of material opulence, material enjoyment. It is frugal. It has got very limited value, limited enjoyment. In comparison to Atmananda or Ananda in relationship with Krishna or Ananda in the service of the Supreme Lord, which is unlimited. Ananda in the service of the Lord is unlimited. Ananda or happiness which is experienced in sense gratification is of the lowest possible limit. So the spiritualist knows this difference. Therefore, he doesn't aim towards material sense gratification. He happily gives up sense gratification. So the root cause of all the problem, Krishna also describes in the Bhagavad Gita. In the 16th chapter, Krishna says, If the person trying to satisfy desire all through his life still remains dissatisfied and frustrated. All his attempts are frustrated and will be frustrated. If not today, tomorrow he'll get frustrated. Why? So why is he coming under the sway of these things? Kamam ashtritya dushpuram. Krishna has used the word because he has taken shelter of kamam, which is dushpuram, insatiable. See what Yayati has described is corroborated in Bhagavad Gita also, or what Krishna is saying, we can see the life of Yayati also. He is the testimony of what Krishna describes in Bhagavad Gita. 16th chapter, text number 10, Krishna is saying that Kamamashritya, because of taking shelter of lust, such a person can never be happy. Dushpuram means unsatisfiable. And Yayati is experiencing that. Arjuna also has told in the Bhagavad Gita, the very first chapter, Arjuna has told, in the first chapter, the famous reference, 32nd verse, Kim no rajyena govinda, kim bhoget jivitena va, yesha marte kangshitam no rajyam bhoga sukhanicha. Arjuna says that Krishna, O Govinda, of what avail to us are a kingdom? Kim no rajyena, Govinda, O Govinda, kim, of what use, of what benefit? Rajyena, this entire kingdom, the entire earth. So what is the benefit of attaining this? Kim bhogair jivitena va. So of what avail to us are a kingdom, happiness, or jivitena, even life itself. Jivitena va. So these are great devotees who have given their realizations, and if we take to that, then we'll be saved. We will save our time, valuable human life. Otherwise, we will also be running behind all these objects and finally come to the point when we achieve all these things, you will still see, oh, these are nothing. It is not satisfying. There is no deep satisfaction. So these are realizations of these great, great devotees. But the materialistic mind is such that the if you want to know what is the power of lust, what it can do to you, next Krishna goes on to describe that from verse 11 to verse 15, same 16th chapter. Krishna says that these materialistic persons, Prabhupada, who have firm faith in gratifying their senses, they have firm faith not in Krishna's words or in Arjuna's words, the firm faith in gratifying their senses, and that will give them ultimate objective of their life. They're thinking like that. So what is their life like? That is described. Chintam aprimeyam cha. They believe that to gratify their senses until the end of life is the prime necessity of human civilization. Pralayantam upast, pralayantam till the death point. Pralayantam till the end of life. They will nurture this idea and work with this conviction. I have to gratify my senses. Maybe it is not enough, therefore I have to gratify more. Maybe not enough, therefore I have to get more, arrange more. Maybe I should get a better job, better pay scale, better flat, better material body. Therefore, today it has gone to that point also. They are changing their organs, they're changing their face through dermatology, remove all the wrinkles, remove all the pimples, undergo surgery, giving crores of rupees, spending crores of rupees to increase their capacity for sense gratification. Still, till the end of that, they will pursue. And they will not be satisfied. That disturbs them so much. Why I'm not satisfied? Why I'm not satisfied? There's no end to their anxiety. Therefore, Krishna used the word chintam, aparimeya, immeasurable. Their anxieties are unlimited, immeasurable. See, you go to any person you meet, they're always morose and dissatisfied and not peaceful. Therefore, they're saying, Prabhu, then what can I do? I cannot chant Hare Krishna peacefully. I cannot come to temple. I have so many anxieties. So what is the anxiety? Unnecessary anxiety. And they are unlimited. Aprameya. Aprameya. You can never uh, remove their anxieties, mitigate their anxieties. It is impossible. They are bound up. They're bound up by unlimited anxieties. There's no end to their anxiety. Being bound by hundreds and thousands. Asha Pasha Shatair Baddaha. But the Asha Pasha Baddaha. The bonding is the Asha and Pasha. Being bound by hundreds and thousands of desires. And Kama Krodha Parayanaha. Being bound by hundreds and thousands of desires and by lust and anger. Ihante Kama Bhogartham Anyayena Anyayena Artha Sanchayan. So, being bound by hundreds and thousands of desires, by lust, anger, they secure money by illegal means. Anyayena. Nyaya, anyaya. Anyaya. By anyhow, any means. Artha Sanchayan. They accumulate wealth for sense gratification. Kama Bhogartham. Aneka Chitta Vibranta. They are perplexed by various anxieties. Moha Jala Samavrita. Bound by a network of illusions. And Prasakta Kama Bhogeshu. They become attached. Prasakta Kama Bhoga. Strongly attached to sense enjoyment. And what is the end of all these efforts? Finally, will they be happy? Will they get liberation? No. Patanti narake ashuchau. Because they're attached to this unclean works and thoughts and goals. Ashuchaha. Patanti narake. They will fall down to hell or hellish conditions. Hell means, modern men may not believe hell. So hell also means hellish conditions they'll be put into. Day and night they cannot sleep. They'll not get sleep. They'll have sleep disorders, health disorders, no treatment possible, no medicines available. So that is all. That also means hell. Narake pataha patanti narake. So then, what is the solution? So Krishna says, one who has escaped these three gates of kama, krodha, lobha, greed, lust, and anger, then he can attain the supreme destination of the kingdom of God. So one should give up this kama, krodha, and lobha to attain supreme destination. So that means it is not that we should give up work, but we should give the work aimed towards sense gratification, aimed towards only material gains for the purpose of sense gratification. Rather, work should be directed towards realizing absolute truth. That work is desirable. That is called devotional service. Therefore, Krishna says in the second chapter, text 50, Buddhi yogo jahati ha ube sukrita dushkrite tasmat yoga yujasva yoga karmasu kaushalam. So Krishna is saying, work is not to be given up. There's an art of doing work. Yoga karmasu kaushalam. Kaushalam means art. Karma means work. Yoga ha. What is that kaushala? What is that art of work? Kaushala karma, what is that? Yoga. One should work in yoga, in union with the Supreme Lord. That is called karmasu kaushalam. So the art of doing work is doing everything to realize the Supreme Lord, for the Supreme Lord. And that is called devotional service. And buddhi yuktaha. This is the application of one's intelligence if one engages in devotional service, because uh, buddhi yuktaha, if you engage in devotional service, then jahatiha, you can keep away ube sukrita dushkrite, both good and bad works. Papa karma and punya karma, both are binding in this world. So one can be freed from both the karmas by engaging in devotional service and become happy and realize the Supreme Lord. And in this way, one can attain the highest form of achievement and highest happiness in connection with the Supreme or the Supreme Lord. I'll stop here. Granth Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Prabhupada ki jai.